Right, we're being professional now, so you got to shut the fuck up. Sorry. We're live.
Yeah, we're live. Okay. First, I want to thank the Erasmus program because I'm here with Paddy
Hello.
and he has been my host for 3 months.
Been wonderful.
Yeah. And I wanted to ask you, Paddy, some questions
Fire
about
away.
your business.
Yeah.
Okay? All right. How did you start your business and why?
So before I started working for myself, I was working in Manchester with some friends, doing a bit more like sort of straight up like household joinery, less workshop based stuff. But then when COVID happened, all that work kind of dried up. So I just started making a few pieces of solid wood furniture. I was staying at my parents, and they had like a garage, so I made a few bits in the garage there. Um,
So you made them for yourself?
for myself, but to sell.
Okay.
And a few pieces sold, and then people saw that I was making a few things. I set up like an Instagram, and then a few people asked me to make some commissions.
Okay.
So I made my first commission was like a dining table, just like a round dining table, and that's from my mum's mate. So it was like a lot of the jobs like started from just like family, friends, or people I knew, friends and stuff. So and it started like that, and then before I knew it, I got quite a few orders, and then I moved to Leeds at that point. So I got myself like a little workshop in a shared like creative space called Airplay Studios in Kirkstall.
Shout out to Airplay Studios.
Airplay Studios, what a great place. Like lots of artists and makers all like sharing the space, and just had like a tiny little workshop, about 2 meters by 2 meters. And it was good for me. It was tiny, but it worked really well.
Okay.
And then since then, I've just kind of got busier, and the workshops have got bigger.
So you already said it, but what product services did you begin with? And have they changed over time?
So like it started out with small pieces, but I think a lot of the time you end up making things that fit to the size of your workshop.
Okay.
So people ask you to make big things, but you say no because you don't have the space to do it. So like so small stuff, and then the thing is you can always make things on site as well. So like quite a few things that I made to start with were like alcove units and just build them in customers' houses. But things have changed. Like I'm still making smaller stuff, but also making bigger things because I've got a bigger workshop. Therefore, I can take on more bigger projects and stuff like that.
Okay. What was the initial investment required for your first workshop? Did you do it like a big investment all at once, or like you started buying tools and then you needed a tool and then you bought the tool, or how did you do it?
The latter really. Like so I started and I bought a cheap planer thicknesser from a guy that I knew, and I picked up like a small little table saw. So like planer thicknesser and a table saw together was probably about 200-300 quid, and I bought a little second-hand router. And I already had like some hand tools from when I did my apprenticeship. Like you can do a lot of stuff with a little table saw and a planer thicknesser and a few hand tools. And then I slowly started to build up. So like initial costs are fairly low as long as you don't mind using like old crappy bits of
And you have
tools.
some like a space where you can build.
So I rented a little space, but that was that little 2 meter by 2 meter workshop.
Yeah.
Maybe it was a bit bigger, 2 meter by 3 meters, and that was 100 quid a month. So costs were like really low to start with, and kind of borrowed a few bits of tools. Just picked up cheap stuff on eBay. Some stuff I'm still using.
Okay, another question is, how long have you been woodworking?
So I've always, like, as a kid, I always messed around doing like a bit of woodworking because my dad's a practical guy. He's into his DIY. So we had a bit of a space. He had a garage with some tools.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was a kid, I was always making a few bits like door stops and a few things like that. And my granddad, he had a lathe, so he gave me his lathe. That was when I was maybe about 16, 17. So I was messing around with that. And I really enjoyed DT at school. It was the only thing I was actually any good at. Everything else at school I found very challenging, being like dyslexic and stuff like that, and didn't learn very. My way of learning isn't like leaning towards the academic side of it. I'm a more of a practical learner.
Yeah.
And then I did an apprenticeship when I was Well, I worked in with Slack with Charlie for about 6 months. Shout out to Charlie,
Shout out to Charlie. Yeah.
cool guy. He's
Wood
a
bending.
yeah,
Wood bending master.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just steam bending, making sculptures and furniture up in the South Lakes. So I worked with him for 6 months. And then after that, I went and did an apprenticeship at a place in Skipton, the Secret Drawer, where I was there for 4 years and learnt a lot about cabinet making and a lot of like kind of kitchens, fitted stuff. And yeah, that was a really good experience. I learnt lots. Shout out to Bob Bowen and Jimmy.
Shout out. So about 10 years, no? More or less?
Yeah, probably about
13 years.
13 years,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. If you could start again, what would you do differently?
I'd be an accountant.
No, but you have to start again from zero, another woodworking business.
Oh yeah, starting on my own.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, with the stuff I've already learned, or are we going back in time?
No, with the stuff you've learned, but like no tools, nothing.
Just knowledge. Yeah. I'd try and get a bit of money together. I think if you could get 5 grand together,
Uh-huh.
you could buy yourself a little plane thicknesser and a table saw, something that you can cut sheets on. It's like a panel saw would be really good. I think having like a bit of space is good. So get yourself a workshop, and just go slowly and like don't take too big of bites. Like do it all manageable, bite-sized chunks, and try build it organically. So like you don't need to have shed loads of money to go into business. You can do it with like 3 or 4 grand, where you can buy all the tools that you need and just do small jobs and and go from there. A good router, a Domino's handy.
Yeah,
It's
really handy.
kind of cheating, but also like to actually make any money. That's a great tool. It removes a lot. Like you don't need to cut mortise and tenons as often.
Yeah.
So making a table like this, you'd have to cut lots of mortise and tenons, and it's a nice way of doing it, but it makes a 4-day job a 5-day job. But you'd struggle to charge that extra amount. So that's a good bit of kit.
Okay, yeah. Talking about charging, how do you set your prices?
Yeah, so I'll work out how much the materials cost, and then I'll work out how many days that I think it'll take to build. Work out what my day rate needs to be. So my day rate now is £250. So yeah, however many days I think it'll take times by 250, then plus whatever the materials are. Yeah, so
That's it. No?
that's about it. Yeah, like I think to be a bit smarter with business, you need to kind of weigh up your business expenses, so like workshop rent and van costs and stuff like that, and probably add like an extra charge for running the business. So
Yeah.
have your day rate at like 250, and then you work out what your running costs are, which will probably be about £30 a day, and then add that to it as well, so that you're covering that. So that day rate that you're getting paid is actually going in your pocket instead of it going spent again on all of the things that you need to run the business.
Okay. What profit margin do you aim for normally? Or do you aim for any profit margin, or how do you do that?
Well, I'm a bit crap with business really, so I don't really like. Yeah, I suppose the profit margin in theory is what you're getting for your day rate.
Yeah.
So by charging that £30 or whatever it is as your business running costs, it means that the day rate that you're getting paid in theory is your profit margin. But then there's always days
Yeah,
where
but
like
there's the workshop cost and all that, no?
yeah. Well, hopefully if you've added all them up correctly, you can then charge that out per day. So then all the costs are in theory covered. A thing where you end up losing out is where jobs run over, and that happens quite a bit. Like things go wrong or things crop up, and you end up spending longer on a job than what you initially thought you would. So that ends up bringing your profit margin down a little bit. And then there's days like going out to jobs and measuring and stuff like that. Like sometimes it's hard to charge for that because
Yeah.
you might not get the job, so you can't really ask a customer to shell out the time that it came to go and quote.
But you're still working, and it's like work that you're not getting money. Okay. How do you present quotations to clients?
Yeah. So I usually like chat with customers via email or simple stuff like WhatsApp or just directly
Phone
chatting on
call
Instagram.
or-
Yeah. So just a write up, usually talk about what they're wanting, what they're needing, what they've asked for, and just write up an email, describe what your proposition and what you're planning on making, and a breakdown of price. Sometimes I break down, sometimes I write this how much materials are, this how much labour is. Sometimes it's just a single cost. And with me being a very dyslexic man, I quite often write out a quote and then I put it through AI, and then that makes it sound a bit nicer, a little bit more put together,
Okay.
a little bit more like
More.
the guy behind the table is not a numpty.
It helps you organize everything, no?
Yeah, you present yourself a bit maybe
Kinda.
better.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay, yeah. Now we go to mistakes and lessons.
Whoa.
What management mistakes taught you the most?
Measure twice, cut once. Big one.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah, try and think about where things could go wrong before, but a lot of stuff creeps up on you without you kind of realizing that there's a mistake happening. Go over the designs multiple times. Do the cutting list a few times. Like if you've got some sort of mathematical thing you need to work out, like dividing up spaces and stuff like that, just do that a couple of times. Make sure that like work out. Say if you're splitting up some shelves or something, do the sum in one way and then do it in the reverse way, and make sure that your final figure's the same, because then you've like worked out whether there's a cock up. Yeah, and trying to be calm, which is sometimes not easy because there's always the pressure of everything going on around you. So it's sometimes hard to lose yourself and you're not thinking in the moment. So you can sometimes make mistakes doing that. Yeah, but I think mistakes always happen, and it's not about the mistake; it's how you get out of the mistake. So like, there's things you can do to get past it, and if there's a mistake, sometimes you can make a feature of it.
Yeah.
Like, because otherwise you have to, instead of trying to cover
Like
something up.
covering stuff with gold, no? Broken stuff.
Yeah, what's that called?
I don't remember, but yeah.
Yeah.
I'll edit it.
You could pop it up at there now.
I can pop it up.
Bang. Yeah.
Okay. How do you plan your projects and handle payments? Upfront, on delivery, installments, all that? Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll send the quote, and if they're happy with it, well, I'll send the quote and I'll tell them when I'll be scheduling to do it. So I'll be like, oh, I might be doing this in June next year or something like that, or whenever. And then I might, if it's a big thing, and I want to make sure that it doesn't fall through, I could ask for a small deposit, like a 5% holding fee, if I'm going to do something 6 months in advance, just so I know that they're serious. Yeah. But then before starting the job, I'll usually ask for a 50% deposit, so it covers a little bit of time. And then if it's a big job, say if it's like a kitchen, I might ask for 50% up front, and then maybe once it's finished in the workshop, I might ask for another 30%. So then if something goes wrong or the customer starts being weird and decides not to pay at the end, not that that's ever happened, but you've got to cover your back. Could happen.
Yeah.
You're then only going to lose 20% of the job instead of like 50% if you only took a 50% thing and then fit it. Yeah.
Okay. Have you faced issues with taking on too many jobs at once?
Yeah.
So you would say that that's a mistake, or how do you handle that?
I think as long as you don't overpromise it to the customer, I think there's a good rule could be to like under promise but over deliver.
Okay.
So when you're booking something in, say like, oh, I can do that in March for you, but then in your head you could be starting it in February, and then if anything, they're just going to be a bit happy that they're going to get it a bit quicker, a bit sooner than what they thought. So as long as there's enough time for things to go wrong, you've then got like a little bit of a cushion. So if things run over you, then you're not kind of stressing yourself out.
Yeah.
But I think having a bigger workshop, you do tend to take on a few more jobs than you necessarily need to, because you've got space to do it. But then before you know it, you've got 4 projects there and you're pulling your hair out and you're stressed and you're working late. So I think doing a few projects at once is good, especially if you're like doing solid stuff, because there's like gluing up, like time to let glue go off and stuff like that. So yeah, there's definitely a balance between finding multiple projects to do at once.
Which jobs are the most profitable?
Furniture.
Fitted furniture.
Yeah. I think because
you can't buy fitted furniture in IKEA, or you need someone to make it for you.
Yeah.
So I think that's most in demand, I guess.
Yeah, I think like ideally, I'd like to just be making solid wood, like standalone pieces, tables, chairs, sideboards, all that kind of stuff. but you can buy those either second hand, like old vintage pieces at quite a good cost, like a fraction of the cost it would be if you were asking somebody to make them from scratch. Whereas, yeah, like you say, fitted stuff, it needs to fit into the house. It needs to go into a certain shape. It needs to go into a certain alcove. And people probably are more willing to like spend a bit more money on fitted stuff because it might increase the value of the house a little bit further down the line. Like if you put in a nice kitchen, it'll sell for a little bit more. Whereas if you spend like £3,000 on a table, yeah, you'll take it with you, but they know that they're not going to get anything back from it.
Yeah.
And also, you could buy like a really nice cold table for 500 quid
Yeah.
instead of asking somebody to make it for 3 grand.
Okay.
So yeah, like wardrobes and kitchens are probably like the best profit margin.
What types of projects do you actively seek? Like, what would you be more keen to make?
Yeah, the standalone pieces of solid wood, like dining
Yeah.
tables, chairs, like sideboards, like record player units. I really like all that, like really nice handcrafted stuff where there's like an opportunity to show some nice joinery details and things like that. Stuff that's got like a personality, instead of like the fitted stuff you end up like is boxes with frames on the front and sometimes a little bit more clinical and a bit like less creative. But that goes back to that thing where people aren't always like willing to sort of spend money on that.
Okay.
Dog.
Which types of jobs do you try to avoid?
Doing like household joinery. If somebody wants a load of doors fitting, unless I was going to make all the doors, I'd do that. But people getting in touch asking me to fit skirting boards and architraves and fitting doors and stuff like that, I'd probably say no to that. I prefer being in the workshop. I like to have all the stuff around me, like all my tools. I don't need to go into a house and pretend to do anything. I can just be in the workshop and do everything here. Do swearing in the workshop. Shout out to Jack.
Shout out to fuck's sake.
Yeah, shout out to for fuck's sake. Yeah, fuck's sake is a phrase that is said a lot. Yeah, but yes, yeah, I'd rather go for the nice jobs where you're in the workshop and then go to fit than yeah, being on site all the time. Just
Shout out to Ethan
and Richie.
They're working there while we are here chatting.
Yeah, moshers. One live the mosher. Yeah.
Okay. Do you combine custom-made work with repeatable products? Like, do you have stock products? Do you have a catalog, or do you just make whatever you're asked to?
Yeah, the second one. I'd like to be in a situation where I would be like repeating pieces, but I've found that I've not really found an avenue where that's a thing. If I was like maybe making stuff and putting it onto like Etsy, that could potentially be a thing. But most of the time, it's people coming forward and saying, I've seen a design. Either it's something I've made or something that they've seen online or like Pinterest and something like that. And they're like, they want something similar to that recreating. But I think the longer you work in it, the more time where you can build up a bit of a catalogue and then you can offer that and you could repeat those products, especially if you're making jigs. You can make some jigs to recreate those pieces like time and time again.
Yeah.
But it's like it takes a longer time to make the piece for the first time because you've got to make all the jigs. But after that, then you can kind of repeat it all. But it tends to be just all individual pieces each time, sort of.
Okay. Do you focus on finding new clients or building loyalty?
Like both. I think I rely on both. Yeah, repeat custom's good because like it means that you did a good job to start with. And it's always nice going back to somebody that you know, like you kind of built up a relationship, so you get what they're about, they get what you're about, and if they're coming back, it means that they like what you did. So that's good. Then you've already kind of you know what style they like. They know that they like working with you, you like working with them. But I think you've always got to get new customers.
Yeah.
So yeah, I use my mate James. Shout out to James. He does SEO, so search engine optimization. So he SEO'd it all so that if people search online on Google for like furniture makers or carpenters or whatever, I pop up quite high, and I find like a lot of work from that. Yeah, like sometimes like weird jobs. Like I had a guy this morning bring me about fixing an old antique chair. So like little jobs, but then some people want like dining tables or all sorts. So that's a really useful thing. I'd like really recommend spending a bit of time on SEO.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Instagram, no, too?
Instagram's good.
Yeah.
I don't think I find that much new work through Instagram.
As a portfolio, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then if like people follow you and then they see your work popping up more often in the back of their mind, they'll be like, "Oh, that guy does that kind of stuff." And then when they come around to buy a house or something, they go, "Ah, that guy, he makes nice stuff, so I'll go to him." So yeah, Instagram's also good.
Okay.
Gonna get a thing of water.
Okay, this is a good one. What are the advantages and disadvantages of sharing a workshop with other makers?
Oh, that is a good one. We'll start with the advantages
Okay.
because there's loads of them. It's you're not alone. Like working on your own could be really boring, quite a lonely existence. Just going to work and working on your own is a bit shit. So you got pals at workshop. You got people that make you brews. You make some brews. You have good conversation. You also chat about projects and like ideas, like share knowledge. Very knowledgeable people around us.
Keep going on the pros.
Yeah. We've got Ethan, he's a jolly, lovely bastard. He's got terrible music taste, but a crap sense of humour. But but all round, he tends to be quite nice. Yeah, it's good fun. We'd end up probably procrastinating a bit too much because he doesn't shut up. And Richie is Ethan's work colleague, boss man, is an absolute fountain of knowledge. He's a bit short, but apart from that, he's great. And his sense of humour involves a lot of cocks. But apart from that, he probably needs to like grow up a bit with his sense of humour. But it's great. And Adam is a wonderful, charismatic, kind, artistic, beautiful boy. There we go. Input cock joke. Well, there we go. But by God, is he a nightmare? He breaks your tools, loses things, takes absolute advantage of everything. Oh, he's wildly dangerous. Yeah. But by God, is he lovely. And is Richie. Richie's kind, wonderful, bit dwarf-like. But the sharing workshop is wonderful and it brings the cost down.
Yeah, and you can
share tools. Yeah, Adam can break tools.
And yeah, sometimes you have a question about something. You're asking yourself, how should I make this? And you can ask your fuck.
What does that mean?
Calentamiento de.
Having 3 people chipping into a workshop means that you get a bigger space for less money.
Yeah.
If it was one person on your own, you'd end up paying quite a lot. Whereas having 3 of you get a big space, and it brings the cost down.
Okay.
Yeah, and you can help like lift things. It's working on your own. If you had to like lift a wardrobe, you'd die at the age of 40.
Yeah, you need to hire someone to help you. But if you have your pals, he can help you one day and you help them the other day, no?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it works.
Nice. Okay, so how did the collaboration begin? How did you find? Huh?
With us two?
No, like how did you find people to share a workshop?
Oh, okay. So I had a little workshop in Meanwood, and then a friend of mine knew Adam, and Adam was just like starting out with his business. He was just making a few things in his basement. So he came down and we got on, and then I was moving workshop to somewhere a bit bigger up near Knaresborough, and I had an extra space. So me and Adam rented that together. We were there for about a year and a half, and then we kind of were outgrowing that space. And a lady that we know, Emily, shout out Emily, an upholsterer, she'd done a bit of work with Rich. So me and Rich went for a pint and chatted about it, and we found this space. So then me and Adam and Richie all moved in there, and this was about 2.5 years ago.
Okay.
So it's been good, and then Adam's moved to London because there's some weird reason. Fuck knows. But me and Rich are gonna carry on sharing together.
Sorry. Shot changes. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Action. Do you work with an accountant or do you do your own bookkeeping?
Yeah, so I've got an accountant. I used to do my own bookkeeping, but then I got an accountant a couple of years ago. Same lady, Rich. Shout out to Carol. And since getting an accountant, it's definitely I've found like I used to worry about my finances and tax a lot because I didn't know if I was doing it right. Like I don't want to be an accountant. I want to be a furniture maker. And there's all these extra things that you're going to do when you're running a business which you don't want to do. So if you can outsource it a bit, It makes life a little bit easier. So yeah, I would recommend getting an accountant. Yeah, it is.
Okay.
It does make things a little bit easier, but it is also pretty easy to do it yourself. It's just an extra thing that is a blag and an extra annoyance. So if you can outsource that, then
Yeah.
yeah, it's good. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. How do you plan future investments on the business? Like tools, workshop, social media, whatever.
Plan it.
Do you plan anything or?
So plan anything. I think like yeah, try and put some like money aside. Like when you get jobs, I try and I try to put stuff in savings accounts, knowing that I'll have it to pay. I try and like chip away at my tax payments. I've set up a direct debit to pay 300 quid a month.
Uh-huh.
So it means that like when it comes down to January, when you pay tax, like there's less money to pay because like I had it before where I just neglected it, put it to the back of my mind. Who knows what the ostrich sees in the sand? Rock dumped by like a £4.5 grand tax bill,
Yeah.
and it was like January, so just after Christmas, and I didn't have it, and I just had to like work my ass off through January, and it was rubbish.
Yeah.
So like I learned from that is to try to put money aside
For the business.
for the business, yeah.
Okay.
And like stuff like the van goes wrong sometimes, so like you need to pay out for that a little bit.
How do you see the future of bespoke furniture in the UK?
I think it'll be all right. The way that the world works is there's the rich and there's the poor, and the rich get richer, unfortunately. But for a maker, there is a positive side to that. Like it's bad. Well, that's fair, that isn't it? Rich and poor, like there will be people that have got the money to spend
Yeah.
on the finer stuff. So yeah, like I think that is the one positive thing of this terrible like capitalist world that we live in, where there will be people who've got a bit of money to spend on stuff. Hopefully, as long as you market yourself in the right places, and I think we're pretty safe from AI as well. So yeah, hopefully the
There's
furniture.
good future
Yeah, I think
for furniture makers in the UK.
yeah, I think it's always going to be hard because it's such a labour intensive job and there's so many costs that it won't be easy, but it never has been easy. And that's just how it is. Like, I don't think anybody sets out to be a woodworker or a furniture maker who's looking for like an easy route. It's always going to be a hard thing to go about, hard thing to make good money in. And as you said, with woodworking, you lose something. Rock lost his hair, and I lost my mind.
Okay, this important one. What common mistakes do you see among woodworkers who are just starting?
Like, not quoting correctly. So not working out how long, or not working out how much your costs are. But I understand that it's hard to give like a big price tag on something without having much portfolio and stuff like that. Like you've got to be a bit ballsy. I think when you go to quote, you've got to be quite confident in your pricing, because like we're not doing it for fun. We are doing it to live in.
Yeah.
So I think pricing's the main one, because if you price wrong, then you're just going to be working for really little money, and then you're not going to be enjoying it because you're having to work faster to try and get jobs done quicker, and then your quality goes down and stuff like that. So you don't end up enjoying your work as well if you're having to work.
Okay, so pricing
Pricing, yeah.
and any other? For example, maybe like people think that they need like a super big workshop with all the latest tools, with
Yeah.
a super big.
Yeah, don't need that.
No?
Yeah.
To start with what you have now and
Yeah.
what's available.
Definitely, like I think like having like the best tools is obviously amazing, but you
At
can
the
get away.
beginning, it's hard.
Yeah. Like still like the panel saw is like 800 quid. The planer thickness is a similar amount. Like they're not super expensive bits of kit, but we still make really nice stuff.
Yeah.
Like life might be a little for like a bit of better planer thickness. So, like a hexagonal cutting block. Is that what they're called? Yeah, but yeah, you can work within your means and your budgets like that, and when you need to, and you've got a bit more money, then you can upgrade. You can slowly upgrade. It's like you can like what Adam was doing. He was working in a basement, with like
Yeah.
really minimal stuff. And like what I was doing in that first small workshop, like you can do it all for a low budget and just be patient.
Yeah.
Like, it takes years to get to a point where like you're in a space that you've got enough room and you've got tools that you're happy with. Yeah.
Now we're going to the final questions.
Oh yeah.
What advice would you give me or someone who's trying to start their own woodworking business?
Yeah. Patience with like the size of things. Start small. Don't feel like you need to rush into like doing really big projects or getting big spaces. Like you can do a lot of stuff on a low budget, and you can do it all like you can really DIY a lot of like don't try not to get in debt. Try not to like buy loads of tools that are going to cost you loads and you've got loads of monthly payments to go out. Then you'll be stressed. Keeping stress down. Keep learning. Work with people. Yeah, just ask people what's going on, like people's techniques, because people are quite often like really happy to share knowledge. Yeah. Like if you see something you like, people like are quite sound about like sharing knowledge. Because like there's so much stuff I've learned in the last few years from working with Richie, from working with Adam, and we're not like too precious about methods. If it's a good method, then like quite happy to share it, and I think most people are. So keep chatting with people and share knowledge and just be sound.
Sweet. Yeah. Okay. And the last question.
Oh yeah.
If you could give like all the woodworkers only one piece of advice, what would it be?
Don't do it. Yeah, sweet. Thank you for big up Rock. What a lovely man. He's been here for
Paddy,
3 months and I've loved every bit. He's been wonderful. I want him forever. I've burnt his passport.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, guys. Thank you, Paddy.
Yeah.
And these are, you want to see the fuckers? And these guys are the ones that can't keep their mouth shut during. shout out to Ethan. No. Shout out to Richie. He's gonna get interviewed too someday.